Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Enemy here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 92. So, first major thing to talk about this week, with this week's chapter, is what was going on with Sylph, because as we see, well, pretty much she was doing some pretty much major emotional gymnastics, with her flipping between full-blown hysterics to calm and reserved, and it was in that calm and reserved, and the part that was helping her become more calm and reserved was all thanks to her, what I can only describe as her pretty much Tamagotchi hairpiece. And the thing is, I don't know who made that thing for her, whether pretty much she was the one who made it herself, or Dragon Joe was the one who gave it to her. But it but just with seeing what was going on with Sylph in this week, and how she would just flip from being like hysterical, and then that little hairpiece would activate and just kind of and basically sedate her or something, and causing her to become more reserved and calm. It's really kind what we see from her is really all manners of fucked up when you look at the underlying implications of what it does to her by suppressing her, what it does to her, because but by suppressing her emotions, it is but by that little Tamagotchi headpiece, like suppressing her emotions, it essentially turns her into the perfect killing machine and assassin, and just like an operative in some ways. It like but if her outbursts in themselves are any indication, by having her emotions constantly suppressed, she's kind of losing more and more of her humanity and going even deeper down the rabbit hole. And the thing is, with something like this, if you want to even go deeper down the rabbit hole, it provides some interesting contrast with the narrative of the series. How, in the same sense that the machines have the potential to become more human, humans can just as easily become more can become more well, pretty much can become even more like the machines, and more robotic, but by doing things like this that toss aside their emotions and their feelings. And in that sense, this shows that Homer really was the perfect opponent for Sylph, because Homer represents that principle simply by being raised by Valkyrie, an android who, like the other Starshines, have embraced their emotions. Like that's pretty much what was going on here. And whereas with Sylph, in order for her to become the perfect in order for her to become the perfect subordinate to Dragon Joe, she willingly she willingly suppressed her emotions. Like I said, it's basically all manner of fucked up when you dive deeper into it. It really does show just pretty much how both sides of the spectrum can become. It really does show both sides of the spectrum in this fight, honestly, and I don't think I'm alone in seeing that either. Um, Now, I guess with all that being the case, though, as fucked up as that was, uh, the one problem I guess I do have with the four starshine portion of this chapter is that Mashima is that with the battle of Homura and Sylph coming to an end in this chapter, he also brought an end to the fight between Witch and Laguna, I, which is one of those things I'm kind of disappointed on, because I get it in the sense of not dragging out the fight, but it's also just one of those things where I just wanted one more chapter, or at least half a chapter's worth of that specific fight. Like it was one of those things where well, that for as much as I basically understand in ending in the fight, the fight between Witch and Laguna, with it ending that soon, it felt like it could have gone on for again just a chapter or half a chapter longer. Like that, there was a part of that felt like just extended it a little bit more. But I at the same time, I get it, and I get it in the sense of ending the fight as well, because ending the fight as well. But it is, but at the same time, in order to compensate for that, I can't lie. In place of that, it was still an epic victory shot. Was seeing the four Starshines pretty much standing over victorious of the defeated Element Four. Like just seeing all four Starshines just and the Element Four defeated. There was just something just pure epic. Just about that one little moment that kind of just made me say, yeah, the four Starshines are fucking badass. I think I said it before, but I'll say it again here. This particular fight, I think, has this particular fight between the Element Four and the and the and the four Starshines has probably been my favorite in the series, only because it really showcases just what the four Starshines are capable of, and basically how they pretty much garnered their reputation of being personally selected, of being personally selected by Ziggy, like of being Ziggy's like personal guards or personal fighters. Like it shows that, yeah, they're pretty much badasses. There's no debating that fact. Um, and yeah, let's talk about that ending where, yeah, let's kind of talk about that ending where where Labilia is actually revealed to be 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 Mira, which, yeah, considering when we first saw her, I think Amira did mention offhand how Drakken Joe was her target, so it's not a surprise that basically that pretty much that pretty much she's basically the one who got captured. Like she pretty much let herself get captured in order to get close to Drakken Joe. Well, probably in order to take him down. But 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 just the fact that she basically that she just kind of that she disguised herself as Labilia and let herself get captured. That in itself just kind of raises a couple questions, I think, right now. First, first off, what happened to the real Labilia? I mean, I know just from seeing, like, just from knowing that the Prince Amira here said that pretty much Amira is here. That alone just says that Labilia is probably safe, but where is she still? Like, where is she instead of being his instead of from pretty much being like Dragon Joe's prisoner? Like, where is Labilia? Like, I think it's again, I'm pretty sure she's safe. It's just a question of, yeah, what is she doing right now, and what were the circumstances by which they traded places, I guess. Um, but yeah, so yeah, just a little bit, just one. That's just one question. Obviously, it's probably the most obvious question, I think. Just from the whole thing of basically Amira being here. Um, the secondly though, I really want to know what the hell is up with pretty much Amira to begin with, because at this point, I assume when it comes to the whole thing of from Amir's ability to transform, it is an ether gear ability, but just what the hell is up with that swirling vortex that covered her body? Is it just a stylistic change that happens when she transforms, or is there something more to it and to her? Because there's again, I'm probably overthinking it, that it's just the stylistic change that happens when she transforms, but yeah, there's something there that almost gives off a very galactic quality that says she's not human, even though supposedly her Wikipedia says she is, but who trusts Wikipedia, really? Um, but yes, something is up there for sure. Um, and just like in general, there's a lot of questions that revolve around pretty much the character in general of Amira that I really hope we dive into over these next couple of weeks, or or even just if we don't get everything, just a couple of questions answered about her would be really nice. Because but for now, when it comes to Amira and the Eden Zero crew, Amira is definitely a devilishly useful ally that I think could be the key to turning the tables on Drakken Joe right now. Um, Now, speaking of Dragon Joe, we see that he's caught on to basically Rebecca having awakened her power. And just the fact that he knows now could definitely shift things in either direction. Because on one hand, he will become more focused in his approach, making him much more dangerous. But on the other hand, no matter what he does now, it will be with the intent of strictly targeting Rebecca. And if he becomes too laser focused on just that one thing, there's a greater chance of him lowering his guard and providing just the right opening for our heroes. And again, with pretty much the thing of basically Amira teaming up with the Eden Zero crew and helping them out now, that's more than likely what's going to happen. Is that something is going to happen where he does drop his guard this time around, and he does. And it allows our heroes to strike back by probably destroying his life support machine for one thing, obviously, which is the intended goal. Um, with that being said, I imagine something is with that being said, even though things could just as easily go right for our heroes now, I think there's something that's going to go just wrong enough for just wrong enough where Shiki is going to have to step in and personally engage Drakken himself. Because one thing I'm kind of keeping in the back of my mind during all this is what's going to be the basically extenuating circumstance that'll trigger the activation of Shiki's overdrive. Like that's the one thing I'm kind of keeping in the back of my mind too, is what's going to be the circumstances that Shiki activates his overdrive. That's kind of one thing in the back of my mind right now. But yeah, guys, with that said, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Death Knight Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.